the YinYang Master. I tolerate everybody and everything. Belief systems are created out of myself, out of the black hole, out of the pupil, out of the word, which is the world, out of the spelling capacity, out of what I perceive as information, out of the symbol that I created for myself. This is how we manipulate reality, and this is how we construct as creators. Now, I am thinking about if I should hide or if I should do only these videos for myself, because the further I walk on my path, the more it becomes a journey of self. But service to self is a service to others. A service to others is a service to self. So the quest for me right now is if I should continue making these videos openly public, because how it seems to be, it's very misleading, man-leading. But I know that I have very sourced information to speak about and to share, because it is anchored in itself. Doesn't mean that you should listen or you should follow to what I say. No. And this is the exact reason why the quest is to me if I should make these videos for others and to others. Because it's my journey. But my journey is yours journey. But certainly it is not. But because I tolerate so many beings and I tolerate everything, and everything flies around me, I used to say it falls into me, but that gets too much into the Ouroboros, into the snake, into the darker aspect that I keep hiding, not hiding, but I treasure it in myself. I treasure the genie in myself. You have to compress the genie in yourself. It sounds very bizarre to you, right? But look at the movie YinYang Master, and you start to realize what I'm basically saying here. And I need certain layers upon that in order to function in everyday human society, because otherwise it's just very difficult to explain. See, now we are already 3 minutes in, and what do I actually want to talk about? Words and mirrors. But yeah, I should focus more on the specific aspects and not to make it too watery. Become more solid. So, the Yin and Yang Master, I tolerate everybody and everything. Humans tend to be addicted to forms, including myself. And we can get into... This is why shamans are so powerful. I mean, of course, it's a word. It's about knowledge and gnosis, but if I was and I am at that level where I can decode, where I can flip things around and see what I see. That's not what you see. That's what I see. Because I know I look out of my own window. But the danger of that is that I start to not function in almost human society anymore, because I literally see through the things. I see what it is. And I could always prove you wrong. I could always prove you right. But then we get into the holistic aspect of it, and we figure out, well, it's all the same thing. It's all a spiritual realm. Although I'm just like, I already said that like a lot of times. I could ingest the craziest things and I could still be up in that spiritual realm because I have these blueprints, I have these eyes to see. The only way basically is through the aspect. The only way is through the process. And if I would try to hold on to specific things, that's not the complete life aspect. And that's why I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I do it like this, sometimes I do it like that. I tolerate everybody and everything, what is presented to me, who is coming into my life. But certainly sometimes I'm like, yeah. I mean, life is about sharing and being with others, you know. This here is me time. This is why I'm here. Can't get any realer than that, right? Do I make up all these videos? Do I certain intros, certain outros? I look for this and that much. Thumbs up, thumbs down. How many people are watching my live streams? How many people are watching my videos? I know about the mosaic zooming aspect of this whole grid thing. I know about that. So why? I know I'm talking to myself. So I should be more tolerant with myself. And tolerate life, you know? But like I said, I was on that point where I was like, I see between my fingers the black dark matter aspect. Oh, that means I'm evil, bad aspect. Yeah, probably, maybe, wicked. Is that recommendable to you? I don't know. Is it about getting only into the light? Not really. That's why my channel is probably called John Shamanic and not John Breatharian or John Carnivore or John whatever, John Light or John Dark. I should call it John Gray Matter. Gray Matter. And let me tell me that I had basically I have to drag myself down. I have to ingest all these things because otherwise I'm already floating way too much high up. I was like, yo, you're here in this earth realm, stay here, stay grounded. Do stuff over here. Like get into the focusing aspect of what you do right here, right now. And I freaking grow in that. And if you need my help, I'm here for you. I'm here for everybody. But that's also the thing with me, that I'm just, because I am so compassionate and open-hearted, I'm here, I'm there, you know, I literally care for everyone, everything. And this is why I'm like, no, you know, shut this thing off. I care for me, I care for myself. So, in order to not lose too much cultivation aspect, which is like, oh, culture, you know, like you get into culture. I'm like, no, culture is basically what I cultivate, what I made out of myself, how I perceive the world. And I was, let me tell you, I was switching between so many different things. To name only a few, like distilled waters, Shivamukalpa, urine therapy, all kinds of different supplements, sun gazing, fasting, feasting, movement, gnosis, alchemy, the shatkarmas, different types of yoga, different types of movement practices, martial arts. And I could tell you, all these things have benefits, all these things have downfalls to it also. So the quest will be, what do you would like to have in your journey? And sometimes I'm like, I can't tell you, because Like I'm opening up my spectrum to so many degrees. I figure out how they work. And I tend to find certain aspects which are layered upon all these things, which for example would be Hermeticism. Everything is mind, everything is frequency based, everything has a male and female aspect, which gets into the yin and yang aspect, the YinYang Master, how to spell, how to see between words, how to decode words, see what words basically are. Mast equals spine equals penis. So if you erect your spine, you start to connect yourself to your temple, which is your body, which is your kundalini, which is your Ouroboros. Take a look at the YinYang Master movie. And if you watch it completely, you will figure out what I'm talking about here. Because I literally treasured, I'm going to write that down here. I literally treasured the Ouroboros in me. And that could be a very dangerous thing. Let me tell you this. Capsuled. I capsuled. And then the most important thing with that is I sealed it. I seal it. So, all right. I capsule the Ouroboros in the heart. Right? Now I flip it around. This is very powerful because yeah, that might be the best thing. I capsule the Ouroboros, which is a very powerful thing, in my heart. Yes. So my heart is probably already dead, and it's alive, and it's pure, it's multicolored. Because I can see through the illusion. Do you want to know the technique, how to do that? I mean, study the occult, and you're going to lose all your friends. No, but study the occult. And you figure out that the power lies within. And it's what you focus, hocus pocus onto. This is what the real magic, the imagination is. My body always tries to find its balance, no matter what I eat, produce. And this is why I say, for me, it's the most easiest thing to be like, hey, you know what? My organs, my organites, how they are structured, are playing music, and they're going to be pushed and pulled towards something. This is what the Kundalini, the snake, basically is doing. It just pushes and pulls. It pushes and pulls. All right? So once you understand this, it's not really mattering anymore what you eat. Because what I only see, it's just density or buoyancy. It's just like, how liquid is it, or is it more solid? And the question to me is, would I like to be more solid, or would I like to be more watery, airy? And depending on that, this depends on what kind of level I am. Well, this type of belief system is created out of my own pupil, out of my own whole, out of my outlook, how I perceive the world. This is what I produce for me. I live under my own spells. I live under my own constructed theories. And for most beings, maybe that's not even working. But for what works for most beings is that they live under a spell which somebody else created for them. At least I created my spells for myself, which now I live under. Is that better or worse? Well, that depends on the perception and perspective. I can tell you it's pretty powerful because I can create my own world with it, my own outlooks. I'm not like, I mean, I take whatever is presented to me, but only because the masses are going to tell me this is how it works. that doesn't mean anything to me. That doesn't mean anything. So I keep doing what I do because I know how this all works, how basically information is structuring my body. This is why I'm listening to what is presented to me. And I'm like, you know what? If you want to do something to me, I'll let it, then I consciously choose to let it fall into me. Then I'm like completely black. And you come here and it's gone. Because I swallow it. And then I burn it down, and then I alchemically produce something out of it, and then I re-ingest it. And this is why it's so powerful. This is what real magic is to me. And that's why I say humans tend to be addicted to specific forms. Which is good, because this is also a part of becoming more aware to things, see more compassion and beautiful things in it, because you start to construct out of the platonic forms, whatever you then ingest, something out of your mind. You're like, oh, this is a vegetable, this is great. Now you have these fruitarians which are then like, yeah, you know what? These things are so great because whatever, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, they they don't understand how this thing really works. Everything is mind. So then they're like, oh, you know what? I have this beautiful fruits for you. And you ingest all these fruits. And you're like, oh, for most people, that's even a good thing. See, this is why I'm like, you should basically not listen to me, because maybe I'm just different, you know? Like how I work and how I perceive the world, it's just different, which the types of information that I have. But see, then people might say to me, yeah, Yan, you look clogged up. You look like swollen everything. I'm like, okay, that depends on the outlook. I'm like, you still operate on this thing where you're like, oh, this is how it looks, how it locks. Yeah, it locks yourself because you lock it. You lock it because you only perceive this with your eyes, which are fooling you anyway. So I'm like, I don't care, you know, I go through this. But this is a very advanced outlook on things. Then, like I don't even know how many beings are in this realm which could do what I do. And it's not about telling you that I'm like on top of something or I could just like decode everything, but it's about what are you addicted to? Addiction means spelling capacity. Addiction. Dictate. You need a dictator which is sitting in front of you, and then he or she is like, he's reading something to you, and then he dictates your mind. Your mind in the first place should be empty. Nothing. And then you create out of your own language what you would like to have. This is what spelling is. Now, most children never really learned how to spell. They don't know what symbols and signed letters are. This is why, like, I share at least my outlook on life. I'm like, you know what? You could do this, you could do that. How you perceive the world, that's on you. But you could flip around all these different languages and different spells capacities, and then you create out of this your own outlook. So you can flip the A around, or you can get into the pyramid, you can get into the triangular shapes, you can get into left and right and whatever. You could just flip it all around, and then you start to really get into the deeper subconscious mind, which is always around you, no matter what you eat, what you perceive. Maybe you perceive it differently if you ingest certain things differently. But the magic is always happening. It's always taking place around you. And this is basically, I'm opening up this for you. And now you're like, I mean, it's powerful, but so better not touch it. If you're going to touch it, it's on you, you know. And if you touch it, then you have to work with it. At least it is then around you, on you. So this one, like, be aware of what you do. I know I'm very powerful, but I stay humble with it, you know? So, Neurochemie, Gehirn, Balance, Kreuzheben, leicht. So I was like, yeah, okay, let me show you this. We do some deadlifts today. See, and this is what the real magician is doing. I mean, you might say but you won't understand basically. See, this is why 0 people are here, but I don't care. You might say this is sissy way, but you do not understand what it is all about. It's about the movement, and it is about the neurochemistry release. That's what it's all about. It's about nothing else. One more time. It's about the neurochemical release in your brain, because everything is mind, everything is frequency based. So it's about how these neurochemicals in your brain are functioning, what is released in your brain, and how you then use it in your everyday life. And I'm not about competition or like showing off, because I know everything is mind. So this is why I'm using this move mind to use and push and pull towards nothing basically, because I'm anchored in myself and never really go anywhere. But in order to move on, I'm like, you know what? I keep pushing and pulling myself through this because I'm probably way too intelligent with it. I know I'm basically not even here. I create out of my own pupil. Nothing is really there. Like, I could go through the substances. I could go through the matter. I just like, it's not there. I know that. But in order to keep me grounded in this realm, I have to push and pull towards different things. Because if I would continuously fast, I'm like, you know what, this realm is like completely, I know it's not real. I know. Hold urine in your mouth. Drink as much urine as you can. No, and I'm just continuously doing it no matter what I would eat. But I then I have to ground myself, because otherwise I'm like, you know what, I'm out of here. Bye bye. Right? So this is why I'm keep me grounded, you know. Yeah, let's go. So here we go. And one more time, it's about the movement, and it's about the neurochemical release in my brain. That's what it's all about. Nothing else, you know. That's what it's about, you know. And then that's why I say, you know, you will probably get more better erections. Why? Because you erect your spine, which is an anagram for penis. The dad lift. I lift up all you dad people. But one more time, you're not dad to the degree of the pharaoh. You literally like have no capacity to see anything. Because basically you're not probably even real. You're a spirit guardian of myself that I honor, because otherwise I would be like I'm alone or one on this journey. So right. Belief systems are created out of the black hole, which is my pupil, out of their hole, which everything falls into. So, then what else do we have here? Flow, Fluss, fest, zuhalten. I have to literally like do this to keep me here, grounded in this dance realm, which is an illusion of myself. But in order to reconstruct, and YinYang Master movie, humans should live in peace, in pieces, in Pisces, in fishes. They should live there. One more time, I decode it one more time for you. Humans should live in pieces, in peace, which means Frieden in German. In the age of Pisces, in the age of being in peace with themselves. Because if they would get into the Aquarian age, they would see that this is all a water realm, that this is a giant fish bowl, and Jesus is getting out of it. Jesus getting out of the fish bowl. And I was doing this, like, on my YouTube journey. Go back a few times, you know. You have no clue who I probably am. I have no clue who I am, but I have certainly. But if I would tell you, it sounds very bizarre. It sounds very, he's showing off. So it's about symbolism. It's about signs, language, the morning ritual, spelling capacity, 42 laws of Ma'at spelling. The Buddha Falun is good, Falun how. The unboxing, 42 laws of Ma'at kinematics. And you know what? I'm rich and I supped to myself. The 42 laws of Ma'at. Yeah, I'm going to be rich again. 42 laws of Ma'at. I have not committed sin. I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not stolen. I have not slain man or woman. I have not stolen food. I have not swindled offerings. I have not stolen from God, God is. I have not told lies. I have not carried away food. I have not cursed. I have not closed my ears to truth. I have not committed adultery. I have not made anyone cry. I have not felt sorrow without reason. I have not polluted myself. I have not terrorized anyone. I have not disobeyed the law. I have not been exclusively angry. I have not cursed God or goddess. I have not behaved with violence. I have not caused disruption of peace. I have not acted hastily without thought. I have not overstepped my boundaries of concern. I have not exaggerated my words when speaking. I have not worked evil. I have not used evil thoughts, words, or deeds. I have not polluted the water. I have not spoken angrily or arrogantly. I have not cursed anyone in thought, word, or deeds. I have not placed myself on a pedestal. I have not stolen what belongs to God, God is. I have not stolen from disrespected I have not stolen from or disrespected the deceased. I have not taken food from a child. I have not acted with insolence. I have not destroyed property belonging to God, God is. The true world order. 42 laws of Ma'at. And I have to become more aware of what I really speak, because I know what I speak is going to literally transcend into the human world. And it's going to have a giant effect on the whole thing. This is why I'm like, I tolerate everyone and everything. Because I am so strong that I can handle it. And I know how it works. Excrement. I supped to my excrements. I supped to being rich. I believe in every energy. I believe in energy means imagination, that's it. What I see is what I get. What I produce is what I am. So I am literally everything and whatever it is. I can decode the Luciferian. What do you think the Luciferian is? I could spell it differently. What's been happening, man? A lot of things are happening, you know. I'm maybe too much of a switcher. But hey, this is what life is, you know. Life is a switch. So on off, on off, on off, on off, on off. And between on and off, which is yin and yang, which is black and white, which is fused together gray, brain matter, you have the full color spectrum of the rainbow. And then if you realize that, you know everything is mind, that you know you produce out of your whole. And I continuously speak that. Why? Because this is how I integrate and how I tolerate the whole thing. Why? Because I love and I like to give everything and flux, which means run through the experience through me. I have no desire. I have been going through the black hole, allowing my mind to create a wand. Yes, and I would say to really tap into my creation aspect, I have to get to the point of the fall, into the point of atom. And it gets even deeper, you know. But I'm like, I have to ground myself. I have to look less on my phone. Excrement, Zen. Yeah, it's excrements in myself which are speaking out, probably. If I've been to that point where I'm like, this is all just a mirror to me, this is all just created out of my own pupil. And if I know this, I know that humans tend to should live in peace. So they should not know all of this, because if they're going to know that, this whole thing is going to be changed. But this is not allowed. It's not allowed to get to that point. Because if everyone would get to that point, where would we live? Ordinary human society would not function anymore. So is it the solution to continuously criticize it and be like, you know, to continuously criticize it and then be like, this is what I say, and because I say, this has created so many problems. So this is why, for all these people who are showing now up, I said at the very first beginning, I was thinking about to only do these mirrors on private to me, because I know that this is causing too much confusion for everybody. And in the end, why the fuck do I do these mirrors? Because I have a neurochemical addiction to continuously mirror myself, and I think that my information is valuable to human society. It's freaking not. It's valuable to me, and only maybe for a few chosen ones. And this is why I'm like, I'm right now still public, but I know it might be the best thing to just compress the essence to the loved ones in the real world and to me, because this is my experience, whatever. But I have this spelling, mirroring addiction to me, where I'm like, oh, look at the mirror. I look at the mirror, how freaking fresh I am. Why the fuck? Is that even valuable? Should I just do my audios? Should I just speak? It's a type of release for me. It's a type of, hey, this is in my brain, otherwise I'm going insane. I see myself in the mirror at the current point where I am. This is why I am so reflected, and this is why I'm so freaking damn retarded and the most intelligent being, at least in this room. Because I have the hearing capacity, I have the spelling capacity, I have the seeing capacity. My nose is not functioning that good, but I sense. And I have to literally put myself down to the ground, because otherwise I'm like, this game is completely over. And this is what the switching aspect is, this is what the flow is, this is what life is. And the secret, the sacred of life to be happy is the flow, isn't it? And this is about the Ouroboros, which I treasured and capsulated in my heart, because this is way too powerful if I just let it completely open and free. I can see dark matter. Sounds bizarre, right? But I can see the between, like, look at your freaking hand, look at the fingers, look at the space in between. That's what dark matter is. But then I'm like, okay, now I continuously inform you with certain things. Are they even for you? That's why I will probably do the next live streams only for me. I do it in private and that's it. Because I know in my heart, it is certainly true what I say, but only at this specific point in time. Although I'm pretty good at speaking from the source, but the source is me and it's always changing. Because it is life. And I know I'm confusing a lot of beings with it. And we all confuse, like, I only do my own mirrors, that's it. Sometimes I look at certain other beautiful beings, but not at many. But sometimes I have to, in order to reintegrate and calibrate the whole thing. And then we get into the same thing, into the rising and falling in myself again. And this is why I'm like, I'm at this certain point. Maybe switch it up, you know? It doesn't hurt to just do a live stream which is on private. To rethink it. Yeah. I think I'm probably one of the only germs, the sprouting aspects, which is, in the first place, has the gnosis and knowledge. Again, this is not to show up, but it's about... I'm probably the only one who has the outlook of the things that I have, obviously, of magic, cultivation, which is, I don't know, culture, whatever, spelling capacity, decoding, a compassionate heart. I speak open and freely about it. I give my advice only to myself. I know about the mirroring aspect. I don't care about any, like, degrees or material aspects. Although I literally know just that I have to stay here, you know, because otherwise I'm like, bye. This is why I'm sometimes like, I don't care, you know. I was like having pancakes this morning. Now I'm having this live stream. Whatever. And you know, that's why I'm also like, I leave my videos. So some things I was putting down because I think maybe they were too much. They were causing some trouble also in my real life. I mean, in the distance around here. Yeah. You know, to master my mind, to master my life, you have, like, you don't have to do anything. I have to operate in every layer, in every aspect of life, and then master it there. And then just, this is how you basically become. You see that, what I do? Like, do you think politicians are pulling the strings? But you know what? I have such a compassionate heart that I would never do any harm to anybody. But because I know about the yin and yang aspect, I know, like, I'm a time lord. And I know, like, this is only words and mirrors. It doesn't matter really. But only because I was on that place in time, I can now speak about this. I was laying in bed and having all these, like, freaking Kundalini shakes. I was like, this is all, like, completely empty. This is all, nothing matters. Nothing really matters anymore. But only because I have been to this dark place in myself, into the dark palace, into the house of Amunti, Amun-Ra, whatever. Do I really actually know what it means? I was at a certain feeling. All we chase is a feeling. It's a sensation for the brain, nothing else. You're like, oh, you're afraid of pain? Not like nobody really likes pain. I don't like pain. But only because I was there, I was like completely emptying myself out. Now I can come back and be like, you know what, you better listen because I have something to present for you. And you think the politicians are pulling the strings or whatever, who are not even aware of the other realms. And it's not that I'm like, I can do certain things. But now a lot of puzzle pieces start to connect. And I'm like, this makes sense to me. And I feel it. And I know it. Because I know there's no such thing as good and bad. Take a look at the movie YinYang Master on Netflix. Then you start to understand. And this is why I said I was thinking about shutting things down. And I show you this symbol here. This is what I was doing right here, right now. I encapsulated the Ouroboros in my heart. This is powerful shit. But I, like, do not copy anything that I do. Don't do it because, like I said, you might burn yourself with it. And I can tell you, I burned myself over and over and over and over and over again. I was dead so many times. Because I realized that life is only a sine wave. And this is what the snake is. Or a wave, which equals a flow. Which is the breathing pattern. And this is why I can pull certain strings. But only... I mean, everybody pulls certain strings either way. Because we are all in the grid, in a net, and a spider web, webbed up. You know, and like, I would say it's just words. It's just words and mirrors. But because I have that knowledge about how to decode certain letters and aspects, I can, like a ninja, go through certain things, get in there, and then pull certain things out, and then like recalibrate the whole thing. It sounds very like crazy, huh? Whatever. And this is not about, like, one more time, this is not about good and bad. It's about reaching the balance in between, in yourself, and in every aspect of life. Because I can tell you, it's not fun anymore for all you spiritual beings out there. Everybody's a spiritual being. But for me, I can only speak for myself. For me, at some point, this realm up there is not fun anymore. And is it only about fun? No. But is it about joy? Yeah, certainly. You know, you're like on this realm here, on this earth realm, you should enjoy things, right? And sometimes I'm up there and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to stay there anymore. I'm like, ground me. Get down. Because if I would continuously stay up there, you know how much pressure this is on my brain? And you know why that is? Because I have such a compassionate heart and I care no matter where I am. And I feel. And I know certain, so this is only words, but listen to this. I never go anywhere. And meditate on that. Yeah, play in the dirt. I'm not afraid of making my hands freaking dirty. I'm not afraid of walking bare feet on this realm in earth. That's what I do. I get down, I do things, I burn it off, and I move on. Because I have the fire in me burning, and I know how to activate certain things in me. Yeah, whatever. So, ground. Look less on the mirror. If I like it or not, I do it either way. Because the only way is through the thing. That's it. Ich gehe durch mich selbst. Toleranz meiner eigenen Toleranz meiner eigenen Imagination. Tolerance of my own imagination. I walk through myself because I walk in my brain. I see reflections of myself no matter where I am. But sometimes I'm like, do I really want to see those reflections everywhere? I've walked through myself, my cell phone, myself one. Tolerance of my own imagination. I'm magic nation. I'm the magic nation of this. Whatever. Of this. See these hand gestures? So I swirl around like a bee, around me, around everything, and then I construct things. Because I'm here, and then I go somewhere else, I'm here, and I'm here, and I'm there, and I'm there. You get it? But see, this one, that's confusing people. Is it valuable? Is it entertaining? Is it fun? Is it good? It's a release. So should I do it maybe only on private? This seems to be what I am right here, right now. And this is how I can move on and accept and tolerate myself and reflect me. Yeah, I encapsulated the Ouroboros in me. That's a powerful thing. Encapsulated the Ouroboros in me. The snake eating its own tail is in my heart. And you going to understand this. You're going to understand this when you look at man. When you look at the movie YinYang Master. In these humble words, thank you for being here. I thank myself because this is how I am. I'm out of here. Love you.